Yo, what's up, everyone? Want to thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast this far. It really means a lot. I just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube page. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but we're not trying to push the Spotify. We're trying to get off there because we all know that Spotify is on some bullshit. So yeah, if anybody has suggestions on spaces that podcasts live that's not that space, shoot them my way. But for this episode coming out, we have the homie Safaa from the Baytals. Man, it's gonna be a good one. Can't wait for you guys to listen. We kind of talk about all kind of stuff, how reggae helped shape him and help motivate him become himself. Growing up as an American Iranian person, and how the fight in Iran and the genocide in Gaza is connected to us all. Can't wait for you guys to watch this one. And again, thank you so much for the support. It really, really means a lot. Peace and love. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Burn the Wagon podcast, where we're here to burn the wagon that is capitalism, patriarchy, and colonialism. Today, my guest is Safaa from the Baytals, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure I pronounced that correctly. Yeah, I just want to start off with where are the Baytals from, or if you want to just start off where you're from, and then we can just go from there too.
For sure. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on. It's a joy to be on here, and I'm sure we'll get into some good material just naturally. I was born in San Jose, and been playing guitar since I was 10. Sublime and Black Sabbath is what got me into guitar, and then I was into '80s metal for a good period of time, but always loved Sublime. So in 2018, I made a little trio band just with my cousin and my friend, and shout out to Sinan and Edwin. And we just played some community centers for a Make Music Day, and that was the birth of the Baytals. And since then, it's gone through changes of musicians, and it's a blessing.
As I saw the little clip of you and Dub Soldier talking about the Sublime and all of that. But like, I want to go back to what you said about starting at 10 years old. Who was that person that put that guitar in your hand, was like, you should play it, or you know what I mean? Or it might have been a teacher or whoever it may have been. I always like to go to the beginning of things for people, what
Yes,
started it all or who started it all.
I appreciate that. Um, it was my dad is a musician as well. He plays tenor saxophone and some other instruments, many other instruments, and um, his good friend Tim Volpicella. Much love to Tim. He was my first guitar teacher, and and just positive spirit, and so it was a welcoming introduction to guitar. And mainly, I learned through just listening to my favorite music, like I said, Black Sabbath or Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, a lot of the '80s metal, and shout out to Bay Area thrash metal, Exodus, Testament. What else? I was also listening to like John Lee Hooker, and a little later on BB King and Albert King. So a lot of blues.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you have, like, it seems like you listen to like a wide range of music then.
I guess so. Good music is good music. So I always loved like reggae is now become my home base because it's simple and it's a meditation music. It's like a musical prayer, and it's really blessed me in my life.
And you said the Baytall started with you and your cousins?
Yes, sir. My cousin Sina on the drums, and then Edwin Broyles on the bass. And we just played some community centers for Make Music Day. It's every year the summer equinox. They have like just performances at like an airport or a community center or senior center. And so we went with some Sublime songs, some Toots and the Maytals songs, Wailers, and we were amateurs. So like the song would start out a good tempo, and by the end of the song, it's like twice as fast. But we were just trying to groove it and get a feel for it. So that's where it started.
That's dope. And you kind of did name some of your reggae like inspirations, such as Sublime. Do you have anything? Because like when people hear reggae, they're like, "Oh, Bob Marley," right?
True.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the top people that are like everyone knows. but
Right.
there's so much more outside of that. And who for you, who are some of the bands like roots reggae bands that you listen to?
Great question. Is it was actually through Sublime that I even found out about some of them, like Half Pint, Tenor Saw, through the singer of Sublime, Brad, who kind of did his own covers and his own versions of classic songs by them. Uh, for me, some of my favorites are Peter Tosh, Lucky Dubé from South Africa, um, the classics like Melodians, and of course Wailers, and Maytals. Toots and the Maytals was big. We named the band after the Maytals. Baytals.
That, that's what it was, man. I was trying to rack my brain of like where have I heard that? Like heard, you know what I mean? Like, because I think back in the day they came to my hometown and played in my little small little hometown of Point Arena. So I was this whole time I was like racking my brain. Where do I know that shit from?
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds like a yeah. Not a lot of people I feel like know those old school roots people. You know what I
Mm,
mean? A lot of people that I know of are usually listening to that Cali roots, that Cali vibes. You know, which is cool. It's its own thing. I'm not trying to put that
yeah,
down, but like it's I've been trying my best to like branch out and listen to more than that because there's the roots of it comes from like you said Jamaica, and there's like a lot of strong probably musicians from South Africa and stuff like that that like speak about struggle, and we're gonna talk about that here pretty soon. You know what I mean?
right on. Yes, I well said.
So, yeah, is there? You said that first show was the community event. After that, was there a time where you guys were like, all right, we're gonna start writing our own music, or did you guys continue to kind
Mm,
of do covers for a while?
Pretty much just mainly covers. Only recently did I start writing. Actually, November of 2023 was it? Or 22? Man, my memory is kind of herbalized. But but um, I wrote "Ceasefire" with my good friend Dub Soldier, and that was the first song I've ever written, really. And since then, I've only written a couple other songs. So I'm not really a big original songwriter, but I love some of these old classic songs that, like you said, a lot of people don't maybe don't know about it, but they're so catchy and they're so good, positive, uplifting tunes. My dream was like, oh, if I could get a band together and we could run some of those songs and those classic bass lines, man, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how like I feel like it's kind of hard to write a song. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's a gift for
Especially
sure.
yeah, especially if you're playing the instrument and like, going straight from scratch like a guitar, it's probably really like that's a lot.
Yes, if some people have a natural knack for it, and uh, there's no real blueprint to it. Obviously, like once you just tap into it, you can just. I mean, we hear about like Tupac or some of these people who could write songs like in the studio just on the fly, and that's like phenom type of stuff. But I think it's also about getting out of your own way. I still have work to do on myself, like decolonizing and getting out of my own way, not being judgmental or being weighed down by some unconsciousness sort of thing.
Yeah. And you mentioned the song Ceasefire, I think, and you said you released that when?
It was the November after October 7th, when everything started happening in Palestine, and well, actually, it started happening in 1948, but even before that too. But it was yeah, I just started seeing all those kids and kids crying for their moms, moms crying for their kids, and back then, what was that 22, 2022, right? I can't believe I'm blanking on that.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, because we're at
I think it was
yeah. I think so, yeah.
so.
Or 23
And
maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully somebody maybe in the comments will correct us, but
yes,
yeah, around that time.
it's been going on for so long. the apartheid, the just affront to humanity that is this entity that we're witnessing. And so I finally a song came out of it, and then also we wrote a song. I wrote a song for Aaron Bushnell called Bushnell Rhythm, and then there's also African Roots, and so those are our three originals, Baytals.
That's beautiful. And yeah,
Thank you.
Aaron Bushnell is like a, well-known story. And yeah, it's interesting that, like, yeah, obviously I'm speaking from a civilian standpoint. I never served or anything at all. But it's interesting when you do have military service people stepping up like he did, and having that type of protest, and
Hmm.
doing what he did.
Yeah, definitely. Something that can never be forgotten, and it's it's something that most people would find disturbing. Understandably, a person immolating until and screaming "Free Palestine" as their last words until they pass on to the other side. I just felt like I had witnessed a messenger, not really somebody who's like mentally ill, just killing themselves for no reason. It was he could see how much pain and inhumanity and lack of considering a future for children all over the world that this agenda is. And so um, I don't know if there's any song or anything that could ever be written to properly honor such an act like that. And I'm not encouraging it for everybody, like go hurt yourself, but that definitely was something spiritual.
Yeah, and we talked about this kind of in messaging, and a couple comments recently. And actually I wanted to talk about it on this as well, like, because the comment was like, if we can get our stuff off of Spotify, right?
Mm.
And streaming platforms like that. And it's
Mhm.
like, I want to 100%, I want to, but like, it's hard to find other avenues that aren't
Mhm.
connected to any of these things, because the other one that people were saying was Tidal, and Jay-Z owns Tidal. Yeah, he's a
Right.
person of color, but he's still a billionaire.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But
He's a
yeah,
person of color, but he's kind of got the colonized mind going on, going with the plan of all this big capitalism and stuff like that. So you're absolutely right, man. I hear you on that. I think this may be controversial to say, or maybe it's not. Maybe now this is normal to say, but like all the protesting, all the boycotts, all the divestment, I think, of course, it was good. It's been good, and it will continue to be good. However, I feel like we're kind of seeing that we're in a situation now where something different is needed, maybe something, and maybe other countries internationally are helping to catalyze that, and like, but all the chanting, and I mean, it's definitely like needed. It's definitely part of the liberation. However, I think like what we're seeing with what's going on now with like the level of weaponry or the complete disregard for international law and stuff like that, which was always really there. It was just covered up by a nice kind of facade. Uh, I think that maybe we need to look at it differently. Like I haven't eaten at McDonald's anymore, but that was easier to do because it's also a good health choice. Um, but I used to like the that little value menu, and um, I think something is deeper now, though. Like even if people boycott it, it seems like they are dedicated to some kind of destruction of humanity or human relations of some kind. So I think we're on the cusp of some of a breakthrough, something shifting.
it really is, because, like, I mean, they're willing to go to war to protect a billionaire pedophile class. You know what I mean? So it's like, and they understand, because, like, I feel like Trump is also starting to lose a lot of his following because of the stuff that he was saying before, and before all, like, he got into to office, right? So he's like, I feel like they're really scrambling to do whatever they can to stay in office and stay in power.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like so obvious. Like the sides are so clear now of like. who is for. I know I don't want to talk too much like that because we are all one. We are even the even the Zionists somehow are fellow human beings created by the Great Spirit. However, at this point, we're trying to figure out how to um, make it a world that can somewhat be inhabited by us and our children, and we can go forward because uh, this is pretty like there's no reasoning behind it anymore. It's just like pure insanity, mental
Yeah.
colonization.
Yeah, and that's like for me a big part of it is like sitting down and having these conversations. I feel like that's just as part of like the revolution as getting out there with a sign, you know? Because like a lot of the times people get out there with a sign and that's their that's their form that's their only form of protest for the year. And
Hmm.
it's like we have to step up and be in community other days than that one protest or that one event. There we have to show up when someone's in need of food. We got to show up and when someone is just in need of like a phone call, whatever, you know, we need to create community because community is going to take us away from that individualism. And the individualism is what's killing us.
Amen.
And like you said,
Absolutely.
I love that you said that. Like, yeah, like they are on some wild shit, but the Zionists and all these MAGA heads, they're still part of our world. And no matter what, I still want them to have a better life.
Right, right. We can't just eradicate them or delete them, as sometimes maybe even they have supported doing to others. And I know there is a lot of people with understandable vitriol of like, yeah, take them out. Now's like referring to Iran, for example. My ancestry is Irani, and I was, like I said, I was born in California, but I grew up going to Tehran every summer and visiting family there. My mom is Muslim, and I always just had a wholesome, beautiful time, beautiful people, beautiful culture, and in a strange way, it's almost as if Iran is the only, besides maybe Yemen and resistance groups like Lebanon and Palestine, to be trying to hold this Zionist entity accountable, like international law, trying to actually make it work. It's kind of strange because we're over here and we're like, oh, the gas is going up. Oh man, like in a weird way, I'm like, I can understand it because of how much children have been martyred, how much injustice has been done. Something needs to change. And I'm American. I'm Iranian. I'm in my roots. I'm African, like we all are. And it just couldn't continue in this way, this sort of a racist system. So I think a lot of the world is behind Iran with what they're doing. They're kind of trying to stand up to this Epstein regime, as you put it.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's where I was like, wanted. I didn't know. I wanted to bring it up, you know, and have a conversation about it, but I wanted to be able to like do it in a way that was, you know, I don't know.
Palatable.
Yeah. And I wanted you to be able to like speak about it and because I'm not sure, I don't know much about the Iranian people. I don't know about much about the Iranian struggle, but at the same time, I understand that the Iranian people can benefit from burning these wagons that is capitalism, patriarchy. We burn wagons from here to wherever else they need to be burned. You know what I mean? So always down to amplify that and let the people have a voice. You know.
Amen. As you were saying that, it popped into my head that like, growing up here, and I, I've always loved it here. I love the music. I love the food, the culture, the melting pot it can be of international communities and appreciating each other's cultures and respect. However, I feel like we have had kind of a sort of a conditioning to think that like USA rules the world. USA calls the shots. USA does whatever it wants, and we're kind of finding ourselves in a moment in history similar kind of to Vietnam, where we had to finally go, okay, well, we can't beat them in their own land. They're ready to die here. So similarly, Iran is like that too, and I know my tax dollars have already gone to killing children there, like in the school. And, it just doesn't feel like war when you're bombing schools and stuff like that. It feels like something else.
It's I mean, just another beginning to another genocide. Like it feels it exactly. It doesn't feel right to say, "Oh, this is a war."
Mm,
Because we just in the first, I could be wrong on the exact numbers, but like in the first like 4 days of the war, we fired off like 40 Tomahawk missiles or whatever, which each cost like $2.5 million. And again, I don't know if exact numbers, but it's in that range of number, which is
right,
insane. 40 of
right.
those in 4 days, like you said, that's mining your tax dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like it's like I don't know. It's a trip to like sit here because I work at a school and like going to school and like thinking about that all day.
Much respect.
It's just like I don't know. It's a
No, I
it's
hear
a
you. It's,
trip.
it's very consuming. Like it's something that, um, it's a spiritual time as well. It's like a spiritual awakening because when it comes to like 2,000-pound bombs being in the hands of, like you said, these crazy racist pedophile elite types, how much we have control in our hands. We do want to stand up for the children and for humanity, and at the same time, there's not a whole lot we can do once when we're talking about those kinds of weaponries and stuff. So it actually forces us to go within again, to like connect with the Great Spirit and connect with whatever one wants to call it, universe, God, because there's only so much we can control on the outside, and if we put our peace in that, it will not, it won't pay off, because it's always changing, and so there's something that's more unchanging that can be found within. And then once we're tethered to that, I'm talking a big game. I have to meditate more and practice it, but I feel that our actions will be stronger, more intelligent, more effective
Hmm.
coming.
And you said that you remembered growing up going to Tehran, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's probably so much culture and so much beauty, and like right now in the news, it's there's a lot going on there, and right now as we speak, a lot. But I do want to ask, like, what's a memory from your childhood that you remember and it just like made you just so happy, or you know
Mm,
what I mean? Because I like to talk about the beauty in
yes,
our cultures and our spaces too, because like it's some heavy shit to be talking about all the negative, that all the colonization, all that, right? So like
yeah,
always want to try to like at least highlight some beauty from that community or whatever, you know what I mean?
absolutely. Um, Man, let me see. Well, at the time growing up, going to summers there, I was into skateboarding. I was into my Game Boy, Pokemon, whatever, and I would
Oh,
go
I
with
remember, yeah.
my. But what I remember is the culture of the people, the soul of the people. Um, Sometimes during certain times of the year, people would be in the street, like passing out cups of sharbat, or hakashir. It's like chia seed, a little syrup, refreshing drink in the hot
Mm.
hours there. And they were just handing it out to people for free, just for pure goodwill. And like kids were out there, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, man, I'm trying to think of a particular memory besides that.
I know I put you on the spot, but you know
No,
what I
no, it's a
mean?
beautiful question. It's a beautiful question, man. The last time I was there was January of 2023.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so it was a different perspective from when I was as a kid. Um, and as you know, Iran is a very pro-Palestine nation, and so to hear some differing opinions from some Iranians there too was good to hear. Different side of it, where they're so frustrated with the USA sanctions and so frustrated with corruption in their government, um, which every government most likely has somewhere in the, at least in the lower rankings. Um, that they were very like, why are we giving all our money to Palestine? But here I am going on the doom trip. You were saying like what was good, what was beautiful. One thing I love about Iran, hearing the call to prayer in the morning and and in the evening. Um, each masjid or mosque will have like a speaker outside, and they'll just broadcast it, and it's such a beautiful, soothing, spiritual sound.
And so you pray 2 times a day.
Well, I'm not I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
profess
Well, sorry,
myself.
sorry. They over there they do. My bad.
No worries. I believe it's 5 times a day for most Muslims, and
Oh, okay.
um, but like myself, I grew up culturally Muslim. Like there was
Mm.
no, not, but like for example, I don't drink alcohol, but I eat some pepperoni or sometimes some bacon. So I can't
Oh,
say, and I don't do the prayers 5 times a day. So I have a respect for these faiths. I can't really say I'm a Muslim or I'm a Christian.
I
Uh,
see. Yeah. I mean, I grew up pretty heavy in the Christian church,
right
and
on.
I don't nowadays I definitely move more towards like the indigenous spirituality, especially for my tribe,
I feel that.
those ways.
Yes,
But like when it boils down to it, I feel like a lot of them are like, be a good person, don't steal from people. Like a lot of these religions are very like in those essence like very
absolutely.
similar, in the base of the, then you get in the Bibles and all that, and it gets all a little wild, you know what I mean? But
That was
and
really well
also like
said.
I also do respect everybody's choice to follow a religion, because like hopefully that is taking you away from like places like alcohol or like you know what I mean, those spaces. I'd rather have a person follow something like that than whatever else is being pushed in the United States, like on TV, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, it can give some structure. The way I see it is like a true Muslim is a true Christian, is a true Jew, is a true Buddhist. Like you said, at the roots of it all is the same conscious teaching of there's a higher power, and then we have this consciousness, and um, I also dig Buddhism and the emphasis on some of that meditation, observation. That certainly seems to be something that can help human beings create some spaciousness because, like you said, it can become dogmatic sometimes, the religions, and um, working almost against what it's supposed to be a lot of the time. And um, also, there's been a lot of misrepresentation of it. As you can see, like our government here in USA is supposed to be Christian. The government in Israel is supposed to be Jewish, but not the case. It's Judaism is not Zionism, and the teachings of Jesus Christ of Bethlehem do not really resemble the policies that we've carried out in like Vietnam and Libya, and the list goes on and on.
I guarantee that most like like American Christians don't even know like where their religion comes from, like originates.
Yeah, it's the consumer version of it, kind of just the mainstream.
Yeah, because like, my mom still subscribes, and she watches these Christian channels that are on Direct TV and stuff, and it's like sometimes, I mean, they got Charlie Kirk commercials running all day.
Mm,
Like every fourth or
propaganda.
fifth commercial is a fucking Charlie Kirk
Yeah, yeah.
commercial, and it's insane.
I
Like you
feel you.
said, that
I feel you.
propaganda, you know what I mean?
It really is like a lot of Americans are. I mean, a lot of Americans are good people. They have a good heart. It's just that they've done a good job conditioning us and mentally colonizing us, and making us afraid of the dark skin. Like and um, it's all been part of a real effort to get this in our heads. So like we have to sometimes have that compassion for our parents, but at the same time, I feel you. Like there's nothing slowing this down. This liberation movement forward.
And yeah, like you said, a lot of Americans are really good people, right? I was thinking about this scenario because I live in the woods, right? And sometimes it storms and you get stuck and trees fall.
Mm.
And like a scenario I was thinking of is like I get stuck, a tree falls, right? You know the person that's most likely going to pull up with like a truck or a chainsaw or the tools to help me move that tree
A
is a
Mexicano.
per no,
Oh,
no, it's going to be most likely a mag out here in the woods. It's a lot of white
oh,
people,
I feel
redneck.
that. Okay. Oh, I see what you're
It's
saying. Okay.
yeah, it's going to be most likely a redneck or like a MAGA supporter or you know what I mean, right leaning person. Most of the time, they're going to help me get that shit out of the way, and I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a MAGA voting person. I'm not, I don't
Right.
want that help. So
Right.
like I don't know. I try to like try my best to like have an open mind to people and do my best to encourage like show that like you said a person with brown skin isn't bad.
Amen to that.
Do you still have like have you been able to check in with the family that you still have over there in Iran?
Yeah. A little bit here and there. And they're uh, going through it and find they're still alive as far as I know. And I mean, we all live. I mean, they can kill the body, but they can't kill the soul. So, and we're all one family. Seeing it so much in Palestine, seeing kid after kid bombed out, starving, all that. It kind of has prepared us in a way, a little bit, because I don't feel I'm any better than a Palestinian human being. So if it could happen to them, it could happen to me. It could happen to my aunt, and we just have to keep going forward. And it's a good time for prayer, good time to um, trust in Thy will, because if it should come to it that a bomb fell on my head for the liberation to go forward, I would be selfish to say, oh, no, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, and I think it's like a beautiful time to also be in community with people like you. And like the event that we had in Santa Cruz, like that was fucking beautiful. Like people
Oh, that
from
was great.
all over the place, like the Bay Area, just not over just like the people that came from here, right? Just the medicine from the world was there. Like
Yes,
somebody from we try to get somebody from everywhere, you know what I mean?
absolutely. It was a unique event. I've never been part of anything like that. That was definitely a highlight.
I
Beautiful.
like man, I was moving and grooving to your guys' tunes, dude. Like you guys were
And
I was getting down, man. Like that was dope.
give thanks. Thank you so much.
And definitely sending like love to all your family over there, you know what I mean? Like always
Yes, man.
prayers, burning medicine for them, you know what I mean? Always going to be thinking about them, you know what I mean? Because that's like you said, they're going through a lot. A lot is happening in their situation, but it seems like people are standing on business and not allowing the United States government to fucking be the bully like we've always
Absolutely.
been.
That's something that's really inspiring, whether it's Iranians, Palestinians, Lebanese, or whether it's indigenous people here or dark skinned people here, or just people speaking up for the truth, like that Marine recently I saw who was in the courtroom and got his arm broken. I'm forgetting his name. My apologies, but respect for
Yeah,
that.
I can't. Yeah, but yeah, he was standing on business too.
Yeah. So it's something about what we're seeing, not just something like when we see this many children being killed or abused, for example, Epstein stuff, and just this complete lack of accountability, or trying to stop it, sort of thing. I think it brings the lion out, the warrior spirit of most human beings, and we've been watching people in Palestine, Yemen, saying like, "This is our land. If we got to die, we'll die on our land," and that's what the indigenous have been saying here for since the beginning. And so we take courage and inspiration from all these people.
It's like indigenous people are like like they just don't leave their like unless completely forced or killed, they're not gonna fucking leave their homelands. You know what I mean? Like they want to be there, like or we want to be here. You know what I mean? Like wherever that may be. So yeah,
Absolutely.
like you said, people are down. People are willing to stand for their land. You know what I mean? It's not like this isn't like money isn't shit to like when it's your ancestors' like place.
Amen. It's a spiritual connection to Mother Earth, and no amount of money, like you said, yeah, we belong to Mother Earth. It's not the other way around, but the the colonial way is just owning Mother Earth and raping Mother Earth and exploiting her. And so I'm with you on like the indigenous ways have so much to offer us, especially in these times where we need some of those spiritual medicines like Sweat Lodge or just those teachings, the wisdoms. I've been trying to read this Black Elk Speaks book. Black Elk was an elder, and there's so many like Sitting Bull. They pass on so much wisdom and spiritual insight that can empower us because we're going through the same struggle, and they they helped us get to this point. So it's like a human consciousness awakening.
Yeah, and I like that you say that, like talking about books, right? I'm trying to do a little bit of better job of reading more going forward this year because, like, trying to just take suit from like the Black Panthers, right? If we're educated, then there's like, like there's not much they can do to stop us.
Amen.
And it's
Amen.
gonna like and you said too, like in recently in a comment that I saw talking about like we're gonna have to play through these games, right? We like to beat them. We're gonna have to know their system.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know. Like, obviously, there's a lot to learn because I'm still doing this whole decolonize thing. You know what I mean? Like, it just started this, but like, I feel like being educated is the first step of like going against the system.
Amen. Amen. Because ignorance is that's the only way they can control us, intimidate us, make us forget about our connection with the Great Spirit, make us go, oh, please don't hit me. Like okay, get them, but as long as you don't hit me, that kind of thing. It's understandable, but it's now it's time to reach our full potential.
And yeah, like, just like I said, community is super important right now,
True.
and artists like you is super important. It's time to tap in. Like, it really is. Like, it's time to tap in and put out that art. Like for Aaron
Amen.
Bushnell, ceasefire. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to let people know. Like,
Thank
let's
you.
hit them. Like, let's hit them with every single like everything that you got. You know what I mean? Like every
Yes.
artistic feeling in your bone. Like, let's hit them with it because that's what they don't want. They don't want us tapped into our artistic creativity. They want us stuck in this 9 to 5 working life. You know what I mean? They don't
Absolutely.
want people like you playing music and having fun and being tapped into yourself.
They don't like people like you, man. They
No.
need people like you.
Yep. Yep.
Sounds like
So yeah,
perfect.
going forward, is there any like upcoming shows? I know you guys just did one with I saw it with like Isaac was there at Monterey for Palestine.
Yeah, that was a very cool. They every Sunday, Monterey Palestine Solidarity, they are there at Window on the Bay in Monterey, and just showing love for Palestine. And people come by and show support, and it's a very community oriented, positive event. And so they invited me just to play a little acoustic guitar and play some tunes. I brought my PA speakers and. It was a very beautiful event.
It looked like it, man, and the like you said, they hold it down every Sunday. So if you're listening, you want to go tap in with Monterey for Palestine Solidarity, right? Is the org?
Monterey
Yeah. So
Palestine Solidarity.
yeah, so like every Sunday they're there holding it down, and I remember seeing them there, like people posting videos of them a while back. So they've been holding
Yeah,
it down. So if you have time to go out and support in Monterey, go and support them because they're legit. They've been holding it down.
right on.
Any more upcoming shows that people can catch you guys at?
Yeah, the 21st will be at 101 Wine Press in Prunedale. Um, and then the following Saturday, which is 28th, will be at Stony's in Salinas.
Okay, that's what's up. Oh, and another thing I wanted to ask you too that I thought about growing up in San Jose, was there a big like Iranian community there, or like was it kind of just like your family and like one or two other ones?
That's a great question. There is an Iranian community in in the California area, obviously, but also in the Bay Area, and mostly it was just my family that I would see. But they had some friends, and maybe you'd see them at their mehmonis, their gatherings,
Mm,
and like. Um, but no, not really. Like and I kind of wasn't seeking it out particularly. I was just
mm.
born in Cali and uh, skateboarding and like playing some guitar and but now I've started to feel some importance of like um, not pride, but like I could feel, especially around 9/11, I could feel like I wanted to distance myself from these roots,
Mm.
try to be more palatable and less hairy, um, both
Yeah.
figuratively and literally. And so, but now and at the time I would be like kind of um, embarrassed when my mom would pick me up from middle school and she was wearing her hijab, and just from the demonization and the misrepresentation of what Islam in the USA. And but now I couldn't be prouder and more appreciative that she stuck to uh, her culture. And she especially said to me, she's like, because there was a period of time she came here in 1985 from Tehran, so she was there a little bit after the revolution, um, and then for a while she didn't wear hijab here. She was kind of just kind of going with the American style, and so after 9/11 she put it back on, and a lot of people would think like, hey, why would you do that at that time? That's the worst time, right? But she says to me like she wanted to make sure people know the real, like blank
Mm.
Islam. Al Qaeda is not Islam. ISIS is not Islam. And I think that's something we're all trying to do right now. Is like there's no more shying away from our humanity, and even though they try to beat that out of us. I don't know where I was going with that, but
That's
like
fucking
we can
sick,
transform.
dude. That's like that gave me like chills a little bit. Like she was like right there. That because I don't know what your mom
That's
looks
cool.
like, but like I was picturing something in my head and like you know what I mean. Like that gave me the chills, dude. You know what I mean? Because that's
Right
tight
on,
to be able to
right
say
on.
no 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 that this is I want to show you the real. You know that's dope.
Yes, I appreciate you, man.
And do you remember the moment that you were like, you know what, I'm taking more pride in who I am as a Iranian person.
That's a great question, man. I think it kind of happened a little gradually, but along the way, like maybe when I was younger, I read an autobiography of Malcolm X, and then my dad showed me some African music and African drumming. I think just having a knowledge that there's a world outside of USA made me start to investigate more and start to not just Irani culture, but like all over the world, appreciating different cultures, their roots, and I feel we all come from Mama Africa originally. So I one of my dreams is to visit Africa, particularly West Africa, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and check out the music and vibe with the people.
Yeah, that's I mean, that would be dope. I've never been out of the country, so I
Maybe you'll
definitely
come
want
visit,
to.
man. Maybe we'll go to Africa together.
Yeah, man, that would be a trip, dude. Like, because it's like so much culture there that like I feel like hopefully hasn't been touched by colonization yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I've obviously never been over there, but like hopefully hasn't been touched by colonization yet.
No, like they can never remove the African spirit. Like what Congo has been through, what Sudan has been through, what they're still going through, and that's our roots. That's where humanity, the oldest ancestors of humanity, come from. And um, I always find it interesting. Like if some people, I know everybody has their own belief And so some people may say, well, not me, not me. But I'm like, why not? Africa's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, scientifically, it kind of like has been proven that we all come from, but I don't know. Some people be not believe in science and believe, I don't know, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's like a beautiful thing to be able to think about is like that journey of humanity expanding,
Amen.
and to be becoming who we are all now today. A
Yeah,
bunch of beautiful communities, a bunch of beautiful traditions, a bunch of beautiful cultures.
absolutely. And what's your
Uh,
background, man? What's your ancestry
so
besides
I'm
Africa?
I'm so I was adopted from birth. So I don't really, I know from biological mother's side, I'm just like mostly white, but like from my biological father's side, I don't really, we don't know who he was, but like I'm pretty sure he was indigenous from somewhere. But I grew up on the Manchester Point Reyna Reservation, which is Pomo territory. So like I grew up predominantly as a Pomo person.
Right on.
So yeah, that's a tribe up north, Mendocino County. Um, yeah, grew up like as like doing traditional dances and still do today. Yeah, so like it's a
Awesome.
really rich culture, a lot of beautiful things, a lot of beautiful medicine. Yeah.
That's awesome. What's been one of your highlights growing up within that culture?
Um, Being able to just like be a part, like as an adopted person, be invited to do certain spiritual dances that not everyone gets to be invited to, right? And this didn't
Mm,
happen until like recently, because there's a ceremony house that like not the entire public is invited to. You know what I mean? It's kind of like most of the time it's invite only, and then there's like certain ceremonies that are asked by certain elders to do. You know what I mean? And I got asked to do those. So that means a lot to me to be able to like be a part of that. And there's certain people that tell me that like we don't believe that like just because you're not your bloodline isn't from us doesn't mean that it's how you tr- we just believe that you're here. You grew up with us. You're our family. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that made me feel like that meant a lot. And it was a person that I really like respect as like a cultural bearer. You know what I mean? He knows a lot. He makes a lot of regalia. So like when he told me that made me feel like amazing.
that's awesome. That's a blessing.
Yeah, so it's and one of these days like because we do plan to do more shows like we did in Santa Cruz, right? So we are going to be able to bring that medicine to those feathers in those songs to these spaces. It's just we got to work it out in the right capacity, you know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, so I like to ask this question to everybody to because it's like it's I work with youth, so like being able to like see what people would say to a youth or like to because that's they come to me for advice or they you're a musician, some youth might come to you for advice and be like how do I do this, but like what's advice you would give to your 16-year-old self?
Ah, man. At 16, I was really trying to prove something. I was really I still am, and but I've decolonized a little bit. So like, let me see. So when I was 16, I'd probably just say, man, that's a great question because I'm remembering myself when I was 16, and it was hard to say much to me because I was so stubborn and like, no, this is it. No, this is it. Like, um,
That's
I
what
would,
I say every time. Like I wouldn't listen. I would never have
yeah,
listened.
I
I would
guess,
have Yeah,
I
I would have
guess,
flipped myself off and said fuck you, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
I guess it's all the approach and the vibe because if you can
true.
feel if you can feel somebody really has a genuine sincerity in wanting to uh, impart some encouragement or some good vibes, and they're not just trying to like have a little power trip or something. I guess I would say to my 16-year-old self, "Hey man, you're doing great. Don't." don't try so hard to be like others. Appreciate yourself that as a as the unique creation of the Most High that you are, like everybody is. And uh, man, I'd probably say like um, everything will come in time.
Mm, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And thank you again. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to like come on and speak your truth and like I know your people are going through a lot right now, so it's a heavy time. So yeah, I really appreciate you, man. Like being able to come on and be vulnerable and speak about your people and your times over there and you know what I mean, like I said, I want to highlight the beauties as well, not just the tragedies that's going on in our communities or for our people.
I appreciate that so much, man. And um, right now we can pray, and um, that doesn't always mean out loud, holding hands, like just the internal prayer and treating each step ideally as a sacred step on Mother Earth. And I'm also inspired by you, man. And um, I think that now it's beyond like, oh, their people are getting killed. Their people are getting killed. Now we're seeing that there's kind of like two sides right now in the world. It's humanity, respecting the dignity of children and not putting materialism above the human being. And then there's the other
Hmm.
side that's just, consumed by this materialism. Um, and so like I think Palestine has woken a lot of people's consciousness up to seeing that if you do it to a kid over there, it's like a kid anywhere. A kid is a kid, a child is a child, and there are those that respect that, and it seems like there's those that do not. And inshallah, God willing, they can have an awakening too. But in the meantime, we're doing what we need to do.
Absolutely. I 100% believe that. And yeah, second that, you know what I mean? Is there anything else that you want, any shout outs you want to give, any more like
Hmm.
anything else that you want to speak about your people or, you know what I mean? Like get out there, before we go or anything that I didn't cover that you want to kind of go over. Yeah, just let me know.
Appreciate you, man. I can't really think of anything. You asked beautiful questions, and it's an honor to be on your show. And um, I guess shout out to my family, my mom, my dad, my brothers, and shout out to Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, who's uh, uniting Africa. And man, shout out to Malcolm X.
Much love,
Much
brother.
love,
And
man.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. God bless.